Hello Internet, Victor with PhoneArena here with a review of the Samsung Galaxy Express 2 LTE, an affordable smartphone with 4G LTE connectivity that works in Europe, Asia, most of the world except North America. So what's it all about? We have a dual-core processor, 5 megapixel camera and a 4.5-inch display, and it runs on Android 4.2 Jelly Bean. Is it a good buy? Let's find out. The second generation Galaxy Express is a device of reasonable size heft, and it's just a bit on the chubby side. Featuring a reasonably sized 4.5-inch screen, it easily fits in a pocket. The Express 2 features the typical Samsung style that the company used in the Galaxy S4, and you could easily mistake this device for the S4. They are that similar. On the left side of the phone is a volume rocker, and on the right, easy to reach, is the lock key, and both have a decent amount of travel and are easy to press. Overall, the Express 2 leaves an impression of a solidly built phone. It's practical and nicely put together, but does not stand out with anything in terms of design. It comes with a 4.5-inch IPS LCD display with a resolution of 540 by 960 pixels, and that's QHD. With pixel density reaching 245 ppi, it goes for a reasonably sharp screen for its class, making it possible to read regular sized text with ease, but tinier fonts are hard to discern. In terms of colors, the display is far from being perfectly accurate, as colors appear a bit washed out and pale, but for the average user who doesn't care about true-to-life colors, it's fine. One thing that Samsung annoyingly omitted in the Express 2 is a light sensor. What this means is that the screen cannot automatically adjust its brightness, so you'd need to manually set it lower or higher depending on the conditions, and the screen is very reflective, and that's a problem outdoors, where you'd have a hard time reading what's on the display. The Galaxy Express 2 features Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean with Samsung's TouchWiz Nature UX skin on top. TouchWiz itself is very colorful, almost too cheerful, with its cartoony visuals and icons. Fact remains though that TouchWiz is the absolute champion in terms of richness of built-in features, so you'll definitely have choice in that regard with feats like S-Beam, Smart Stay and screen mirroring. Basic functionality is also well covered with the core phone app that easily integrating with Google's Cloud Contacts. Samsung also adds swipe gestures to your contact list, allowing you to call or text someone by just swiping left or right on the contact's name. The keyboard is well spaced and easy to type on, but it lacks some language layouts. Samsung has also added its homebrewed Chat On Instant Messenger, S-Planner calendar app, S-Memo note-taking application, the S-Translator translation and phrasebook app, and the S-Voice, a Siri-like voice assistant app. Despite not featuring the latest of processors, we're pleased with the fluid, lag-free performance of the Galaxy Express 2. Scrolling around the main menu and home panels happens without a stutter, and running the core apps is also buttery smooth. In terms of hardware, the Express 2 runs on a 1.7 GHz dual-core Snapdragon S4 Plus system chip with 1.5 GB of RAM. It also features the Adreno 305 graphics chip that proves perfectly capable of handling most games. We tried casual games like Temple Run 2 and more demanding games like Asphalt 8. All of them ran fairly smoothly, so we enjoyed the gaming experience a lot. The handset comes with 8 GB of internal storage that you can expand via microSD cards of up to 64 gigs. Android and TouchWiz together, however, are eating up nearly half the built-in memory, so you end up having around 4.5 GB actually available for your free use. The phone ships with Samsung's custom Android browser and Google's mobile Chrome. Both get the job done well, but we prefer Chrome for its better interface and cross-device syncing capabilities. Anyway, in either case, you can go on the Google Play Store and download your favorite browser and use it. Scrolling and zooming around is fairly smooth, and surfing in general is a pleasure. If we had to pick the nits, we'd say that it takes a second for the actual text on websites to render properly, but again, that's not a huge issue. The Galaxy Express 2 hallmark feature is 4G LTE connectivity. It supports FDD LTE at bands 3, 7, 8 and 20, used widely in Europe and Asia, but also the Middle East, Latin America and Africa, so basically you can roam the world with this phone on 4G LTE, except for North America and China. to territories where these bands are not that widely supported. If your current market does not yet support LTE, the phone can also fall back to HSPA+, supporting a very fast up to 42.2 megabits per second speeds. Other connectivity options include 8 GPS, single-channel Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.0 and NFC. The second-gen Galaxy Express has a 5-megapixel autofocus camera with a single LED flash on the back and a VGA shooter on the front. The camera app interface is great. Samsung uses the same camera UI found in its top-shelf devices, with all the bells and whistles of shooting modes like panorama, sports, night mode and others, as well as a ton of manual settings like ISO, exposure and metering that you can manually adjust. The camera opens quickly and is also relatively speedy with focusing and saving images. The actual pictures turn out quite decent at the right well-lit conditions. They lack a bit in sharpness, definition and detail, but overall are well exposed and have pleasing colors. Indoors and in low light though, the pictures don't look that good. Many of the captured indoor images come with a yellowish tint all over them. The LED flash is also a bit on the weak side, and when it fires it tends to result in images that have unnaturally cold colors. The front camera is a very basic VGA shooter that you can use for video conferencing and selfies, but the quality of the images is very low. Video is recorded up to 720p at a solid 30 frames per second. The quality of the recorded footage is above average, but still not outstanding. Detail is a bit on the low side and the footage lacks in sharpness and definition. The microphone records average audio that is okay for casual use but nothing more, and it does pick up quite a lot of wind noise. We like Samsung's gallery app with its two-column design showing your albums on the left and your images on the right. Browsing around images is quicker that way. The gallery also has a pretty rich image editor and it's generally nice. Samsung's built-in video player plays back all common formats with ease, but even if you have trouble with a rare codec, you can always head to the Play Store to find a media player that will support it. For music, you have Google Play Music and Samsung Music on board. We like both, but Samsung's music player has a bit more settings and it supports features like folder-based file manager for your music, and that's something that the Google app lacks. The Express 2 has definitely a quiet loudspeaker. It lacks the oomph you might want when playing a song, a movie or a game. We're happy with the call quality we get on the Galaxy Express 2. It features a very loud earpiece where we're able to easily recognize the voices of our callers, and on the other end of the line, our callers reporting hearing us without much distortion at all, sounding very clean and loud enough in our natural tones. We're also very happy to see a large for its size 2100 mAh battery in the Express 2. It's easily replaceable by the user, you just have to peel back the rear cover and you get instant access to it. We managed to get around 2 days on average of battery life in a non-4G LTE environment. With LTE kicking in, we can imagine its longevity will go down, but we still think the Express 2 will easily last a full workday, and that's something that will give you a piece of comfort. Overall, the Samsung Galaxy Express 2 with LTE is a good device that checks all our bases. Has a decent 5-megapixel camera that takes consistently good shots under the right conditions. It runs fairly smoothly, no lag, nothing like that, and it plays even the top games that we tried, like Asphalt 8, so it's a joy to use. It's also compact, fits easily in a pocket, 4.5-inch screen, that's decent, but once again, it costs a little bit more than the usual, and that's because of 4G LTE. If you don't need 4G LTE connectivity, there is no way you should get this phone. You should look at something like the Motorola Moto G or even last year's Nexus 4, which has better value for the money than this. Competition for 4G LTE affordable smartphones is very little. Actually, we only have the HTC Desire 601 and the Lumia 625, and both are decent devices that are pretty comparable to the Galaxy Express 2. What we like this for? Removable battery, expandable storage, something that not all smartphones have. So if you're looking for a 4G LTE device, this is not a bad phone, and it's an affordable one. If not, look elsewhere. For a more detailed review, make sure to go to PhoneArena.com. Thanks for watching.